Hi, this is Greg Johnson, Director of Media Development for Blue Book Services. I'm with Doug Nelson from the Trading Assistance Group at Blue Book. And today we're going to talk about a reparations report story that you wrote in the most recent Blueprints edition. And in this case, a buyer and seller made a verbal agreement, and there was a reneging on the sale. And there were some lessons to be learned from this, weren't they, Doug?
Right. I thought there was value as precedent in this decision on a couple points. One is, as you mentioned, Greg, that verbal agreements are binding, even when, as in this case, the seller presented a written contract to the buyer, which the buyer never signed. The verbal agreement PACA held was binding in and of itself. There was also, in this decision, a concept called anticipatory repudiation, which came out, which allows parties to get ahead of a breach when you can see the breach is coming down the road, to take action on that and go ahead and resell, find another customer to resell, or possibly even make a cover purchase if the buyer is the one in this situation. So I thought it was a valuable case in terms of the precedent.
So can you briefly talk about what companies were involved, and I know it was a couple decades ago, but it's still relevant today.
Sure, yeah, and it's the same principles that applied back in the early '80s. They still apply today, as you say. And going back and reading cases like this, it helps illustrate the trading principles. So there was a company called Washburn Potato in operating out of Maine. They sold 5 truckloads of seed potatoes to a buyer in Virginia, and it was all done verbally through a broker. Now, not a reseller, but a true broker who had gone ahead and verbally confirmed the deal, sent out a broker's memorandum as required by PACA. The deal was for all intents and purposes, it appeared like we were in good shape. But 10 days after the fact, Washburn goes ahead and sends a written contract for Rex to sign. Rex E. Sparks is the name of the company in Virginia. Buyer refuses to sign that, wants out of the deal at that point, and that kind of kicks off the trouble that we saw here that led to the decision.
Okay, and like we said, it's the case today. Nothing really has changed as far as ruling goes, right?
It's cited as active precedent today. I found it through the PACA precedent index that's intended for as guidance for the trade.
Okay, well, that's what we do here at Blue Book.
Exactly.
All right, Doug, thanks for joining us today. This has been Greg Johnson with Blue Book Services.